Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Bank Roadshow meeting this beautiful Tuesday morning. I'm Andrea Mendez-Barrutia, the Director of Community Engagement for the Hispanic Collaborative. As a reminder, the purpose of the monthly Bank Roadshow series is to support Milwaukee's banking, financial, and frontline entrepreneur support community with in-depth information on the entrepreneurial ecosystem programs and services in order to strengthen our community's existing and budding entrepreneurs. Today, we have Athena Agudimos joining us. Athena is a center director for the Wisconsin Small Business Development Center at UW-Milwaukee. Having her here is bittersweet, as her predecessor, Cheryl Mitchell, was a second presenter at our Bank Roadshow series. She is missed, and we're so grateful that you, Athena, are helping to keep her memory alive with your work at the SBDC. So Athena, thank you for being here. We'll have her share her presentation, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A.
Thank you, Andrea, and I really appreciate the comments regarding Cheryl. Really, the only path forward for us is to honor her through our work, and so I'm really grateful to be here today and for the opportunity. So good morning, everyone. As Andrea noted, my name is Athena Agudimos, and I'm the Center Director for UW-Milwaukee's Small Business Development Center. So today I'm going to share with you a little bit about our center in Milwaukee, also our state network of the Small Business Development Center that's part of the Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship. And we'll definitely have time for questions as well. So after I share with you about our work, we'll go into Q&A. So feel free to think of questions so we can make the most of that time. So a little bit about our Small Business Development Center. So in Milwaukee, we service business owners really at every stage of the business life cycle in the counties of Milwaukee, Ozaukee, and Washington. But as you can see here from our map, we have 14 centers throughout the state of Wisconsin. So there really is a location for every business owner in the state. We're part of America's SBDC. So every state in the US has at least one Small Business Development Center. Some have many, like California, for example. And we're part of an accredited association. So really a lot of rigorous accreditation processes to be a small business development center. In Wisconsin, we're part of the UW system level. So many of our centers are part of universities. So for example, in Milwaukee, we're part of UW-Milwaukee. We have been around since 1980. We're funded in part through the federal government, so directly from the Small Business Administration, the SBA, and then we also receive state funding as well. So this funding, I'll kind of go into a little bit more deep dive into the Small Business Development Center and how we help business owners, prospective business owners, but a little bit about where we reside again on that UW system level. So we're part of the Institute of Business and Entrepreneurship, and we have sister organizations that I want to share with you, and partly because these are also available to business owners to access, but once they become a Small Business Development Center client, we're able to cross-refer them into other organizations that make sense for their business. So we have the Center for Technology Commercialization. This is for businesses that might have innovative products that can scale in the market. There's specific kind of hands-on programming tied to also accessing government contracts tied to those innovations that they might be looking to further explore viability in the market and so forth. So there's grants tied to that where they work with consultants to help them navigate through that process and connect with which organizations, federal organizations, would make sense to go into those markets. We also have the Food Finance Institute. So this is for our businesses that are in food manufacturing. So they're able to connect with a really experienced team that has navigated scaling and growing into the grocery markets, accessing financing, going public with their businesses, etc. So we can take those clients that are positioned with a product and help them navigate all those various stages of growth with our Food Finance Institute. We have the Center for Business Intelligence. So this is very kind of deep diving work into some business research, feasibility for some clients who are looking to enter a new market, really robust research to just, have the best of what could be expected, or what are we forecasting if we're going to enter this market for that business. And then we also have the Business Dynamics Research Consortium. And this is really an economic development arm. So cities, counties are accessing this effort to do feasibility with their development projects. So back to the Small Business Development Center. So ways that we help. As I mentioned, we help clients at every stage of the business life cycle. So we have folks that maybe are at very initial stages, and we're helping them further vet their ideas, letting them know what the roadmap looks like, from idea to testing to gathering research to building a business plan, really tailored to where the client is at. So some clients might have, they woke up in the middle of the night with this like amazing idea and they're ready to run with it, and they call us up and it's okay, let's make sure, do you have any competitors in the market? Let's make sure there's a demand for this. Let's get a prototype if, or like a mock prototype if it's something that you think can be created, or get you connected with who could do that. So again, very tailored to where the client is at. In those idea stages, we are also asking them if they're looking for funding. So a big part of what we do in Milwaukee is we connect our clients to lenders, and we also have referrals from lenders. So we play a role with understanding what the lender is looking for when they're reviewing a business plan, when they're reviewing financial projections, understanding loan readiness. So we're talking to clients around, what is your personal credit score? What kind of equity do you have to inject into the deal? This is what the lender's going to look for if they're using SBA products. Here's, what we need to explore those routes. So we're having those conversations around starting a business, giving them pathways to do that research so they can be best positioned, so that they're doing the planning. We also have efforts around, just the logistics, the laundry list of I'm starting a business, I'm forming a legal entity, I have legal questions. We connect them to our partners at Marquette's Law and Entrepreneurship Center, to even efforts around what kind of permits, licensing, do you need a seller's permit? Again, just going through the laundry list. And so for many of our clients, they don't know what they don't know. And they may have all the skills to be an amazing entrepreneur and just, they're running with everything, but they might not know that they need to make sure that they have an EIN number and file sales tax and secure an accountant, et cetera. So we can take those best practices that we know from working many, many years with business owners, with having commercial lenders on our team that know, what the debt servicing our lenders are going to be looking for when they're analyzing projections. And really with the overall goal, we want our businesses to have strong starts. And if they are in business, we want them to have responsible and sustainable growth. So again, we help at every stage. So that idea stage, making sure they're on the right path, that they're following the compliance ends of things to have a really strong start of the business. We have clients come to us. We have lenders, CDF, community development financial institutions, refer their clients. If you're in that position where you would like to work with us and refer your clients, I would recommend that you reach out just so we can have a conversation. We really do ask that the referrals are from someone who has a viable deal. They may need some work to do. They may need some help on the personal credit end of things. They may need some help with their financial projections or beefing up an area of their business plan. But we want a referral that's, hey, we feel good that we could lend to this client, but they need to do some work. The numbers aren't making sense, but we see they have a viable product, or they've been in business and they need to kind of get an accountant and make sure that they're producing financials, etc. So we know what the lenders need to see to really have some confidence to lend the money. So when you see a client who has this potential but needs some work, we really can be a great solution and provide meaningful support in our community. So growing your existing business, we do a lot of work with those existing businesses who maybe are in a position to purchase a building and have owner occupied real estate, build that asset. So again, they come to us. We look at maybe what SBA products would be really a great fit. We help them build their projections. We give them a suite of documents that has everything: sources and uses, breakdown of revenue, cost of goods by 3 years in detail. We work with them to figure out unit sales, to substantiate everything. So we have a business asset listing. If they have quotes for equipment or general contractor quotes, we're saying your lender's going to want to see everything substantiated. Start your file. I want to see numbers that you've shopped around, etc. To those 12-month, 3-year projections, cash flow projections, balance sheet projections, amortization schedule. We have a really great model that helps build this out for our clients. Again, it is to get them to the finish line, to get a loan, to support their project, but it's also then we switch that over into a budget after they get the funding. So now we're working on, looking at how are we tracking budget to actual after we have done that work. On another note, the funding that we have through the federal government and through the state allows us to provide this support to clients at no cost. So it's a really simple process. They fill out a form. It takes about 2 minutes. It gets them into our system, and they get access to this support. Also, we have very strict confidentiality agreements. So as soon as they become a client of ours, anything they share with us is completely confidential. So when there are occasions where their lender referred, we do have to have them provide a release of information to allow us to go direct to their lender and communicate. Other resources are, in the build out phase, there's a lot going on with working with keeping the budget on track, on time with the contractor, also leveraging what their city, like City Milwaukee, has excellent programs in terms of grants, facade, signage, white box, grants tied to hiring employees. And every city, county offers maybe a little bit something different. So we try to just stay on top of, in our counties, what's offered, so that when a client comes to us, we're just leveraging everything we can. We're thrilled the bounce back grant has been extended through the end of the year. And, that's another one of those opportunities when a client comes to us. We're eyes and ears for everything that might be out there that's relevant and, not highly competitive in terms of a grant, but that's one that's been really beneficial for our clients who've entered lease agreements. Yeah, so again, no cost to the clients. We ask that they're committed. We don't chase clients. So sometimes they come to us, it's one meeting, we kind of give them the info they need, and then they know that we're here and they reach out as needed. Others, we're working on, regularly getting the numbers in line, and, it's a more robust engagement until they meet their business goals. And others kind of have check-ins, just to continue to create goals and have some accountability system to just, okay, I know I'm meeting with Athena next month. I'm going to report on these 3 top key goals that, are ideally selected to advance my business forward. And it, just produces some resources out there. I want to touch on the support we provide to our Hispanic population. So We at our UW Milwaukee, we had a dedicated consultant on our team, Jesus Nanez Perez. And so for those clients who were Spanish speaking, we would connect them to Jesus. For those clients who just wanted to work with someone who kind of understood their culture, we connected them to Jesus as well. And so it was really great to have that. When he first started, I was working with the client who was primarily Spanish speaking, and I did take Spanish in high school, but then I switched and took Italian in college, and it like overrode all my Spanish. I think that's at least my excuse today. But I was using Google Translate to help her with her documents because she had a daycare and she secured a second location, and it was an SBA loan, and there's all these documents, and so helping her out, and we would be going back through Google Translator, and then Jesus came, and it was just so wonderful that they could, they could just communicate and advance the project forward. So Jesus now, so a couple kind of interesting things happened. So one is our Green Bay Center had asked, hey, could we utilize Jesus as a translator because we have a client who's speaking Spanish. So the business consultant in Green Bay and Jesus were on the call with the client. And, after that meeting, the client just said, hey, can I just work with Jesus after that? Because for the obvious, Jesus is a business consultant, and, just having to go through there's one part of just the translation, but then there's another part of just getting the resource you need and being comfortable and free in that. So fast forward, we have Jesus in a permanent role as a statewide support. So for those clients that would like to work with a Spanish speaking consultant who is an experienced business owner who's gone through every sort of lending program that there is out there as well with his businesses, we have Jesus as a great resource for that. So again, just iterating, tailored support to the client's needs, in all stages of running a business. So lots of individuals looking to start, and we're helping them with just going through the rigor of what would be needed and making sure it makes sense for them, accessing financing and capital. So working with clients who are looking for funds to support their project and expansion, making sure they're positioned that they can, if they're taking on debt, that they can afford it, that they understand their numbers, marketing and sales growth. So sometimes we have that client who, just needs a sales strategy, needs a marketing plan. They need to get out there, and working with them to put that in place. Financial management is a big one. We all know here, after the introductions, like that's just foundation. You need to know your numbers. And if you're looking for financing, your lender needs to see that you understand your numbers as well. And that's always like a magical component for me, is when I do get that client referred and we're working on financial projections. And it's not just the exercise to get the loan, it's the exercise to understand the numbers when, that light bulb goes on and it's like, oh, I never, broke it down this way. And just making those connections and seeing how they can influence their revenue and influence their expenses, and how it affects the bottom line and their overall profitability. And then management and strategic planning. I mean, sometimes clients just need to get out of their business and talk about an issue and strategize around it, and run it past someone who just has their best interest in mind and wants them to make sound decisions for the best success of their business. And that means also, sharing where concerns can lie as well, and giving them that type of feedback so that they're the executive decision makers of their business, and just to have data points to make those sound decisions. I want to highlight just a couple resources before I conclude, or we open it up to Q&A. And the sunlight I'm like a plant, I'm growing over here, which I'll take the sunlight, but maybe before I start Q&A, I'll adjust my blinds a little bit. So some resources. I put a few down here. So first steps to starting a business. So we have a 90-minute-ish virtual course that's no cost, available to business owners, prospective business owners. And it's just kind of those logistics for, I'm thinking of starting a business. What do I need to know? Our Small Business Development Center out of Madison helped to put this resource together, and clients can take it at their own pace. There's many different exercises, from a business model canvas to just understanding, even you're going to be asked for a personal financial statement as part of your lending application. You know, what does that look like? So that's a great resource that's out there. Another one, SBDC Net, for businesses that are just looking to do some market research on their industry. Lots of good information there, many business plan templates as well that they can access are on that link. And then I also included our link to our UW Milwaukee Small Business Development Center. There's a request for consulting link on there, so that's something that can be shared with clients as well. Yeah, so Andrea, I'll adjust my blinds here, and then we could open it up for questions.
Sounds good. Thank you, Athena. Let you adjust those blinds. So we want to open up to Q&A. So if you have any questions, please unmute and ask away.
I'm listening as I'm adjusting here.
So I have a question about working with Jesus. Is that the same process, like you would fill out a form and request Jesus, or how does that work?
Yeah, so Jesus now has his own unique link to request support. But I would say for those based in Milwaukee, if you send that link and request him, or tell your clients to request Jesus, then we're able to make that connection as well. But Andrea, I can get you his direct contact info to share out afterwards.
Okay, thank you. And what is the typical, do you find that clients work with you all for a certain amount of time, or, you know, through the different stages?
Yeah, so again, I guess I would speak to it being very tailored to the client. So I can think back about 1 year and 10 months ago, because that's when I started. I worked with someone who was in business, wanted to purchase a building, and his financials, his management of cost of goods, his management of net income, et cetera, needed so much work. So he was getting denied left and right. And, you know, we put in a strategy and a plan of money management, financial management, where his cost of goods needed to be in terms of industry standards, making sure, you know, money's going into the bank, et cetera. And, you know, just a couple months ago, he was able to purchase a building and meet that goal. So I would say on average, though, you know, for those who are seeking financing, it's maybe heavy engagement for 2.5, 3 months to kind of get them to their goal. So somewhere in between there, it's going to depend on where they're at and how far along they are too.
Thank you. Teresa?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Hi, Tina. Tina,
Hi.
a question for you. How do you promote your program among the Hispanic business community?
Yeah, so we are really busy in Milwaukee, which we're very grateful for. So we don't do a lot of promoting in terms of a lot of outreach, because, you know, the demand is really strong. I would say with having Jesus on the ground, he was a big promoter of the support being provided. But again, we had lenders who knew, okay, the UW-Milwaukee SBDC has a Spanish-speaking consultant, so they would be sending us their clients. So we're in the process right now, though, with having Jesus in that more statewide role. Again, he's part-time to start, which, there's no doubt that easily can be filled. But, we're hoping that we can further develop more capacity and more time so that we can more actively promote. And I would say, the event that Andrea put on, the Latino Summit, am I getting the name correct? We were present there. Jesus was present there. So we're looking for those kind of opportunities to really just be at the table to share. But it's still in the works.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I'm going through the attendees to see if anyone's coming off of mute. Okay, thank you, Athena, for your presentation. I'll make sure to also share your information when I share out Jesus's, in case anyone has any questions, want to learn more. But thank you again for being here. Thank you all for tuning in this morning, and I'm hoping everyone will be here next month. We will have the Legacy Redevelopment Corporation, a referral from Athena, presenting next month on Tuesday, June 21st. So thank you all, and I hope you have a great day.